as I always say, every now and then, there's just some news that there's no way to prepare for. And unfortunately, we would see another example of that when Bronny James would unexpectedly suffer sudden cardiac arrest during a University of Southern California basketball practice on July 24th. Now, despite Bronny's sudden cardiac arrest occurring the 24th, the news of him suffering from it wouldn't drop until the 25th. And that's something that I'd much prefer, as we've seen media outlets rush to put out news, trying everything that they can to be first, with complete disregard of the privacy of the families affected and any sort of accuracy altogether. I understand the need or the want to be first when it comes to breaking a big trade or a big free agent signing or something like that, but when it comes to news that is incredibly delicate, there's just no need to have that desire. Though there are times where I may bring you guys the news at a slower rate, one thing that I pride myself on is at least trying to be incredibly accurate over anything. Without accuracy, what in the world do we have? Now, remember when I said that news surrounding Bronny didn't drop until the 25th? Well, let's go ahead and get into it. July 25th, Shams would tweet the unthinkable. He'd tweet that USC All-American Bronny James had collapsed on the court on Monday and had a cardiac arrest. He continues saying that he was taken to the hospital and would now be in stable condition and no longer in the ICU. Shams would also go on to attach this statement that came from a James family spokesperson to this tweet. To quote the statement, "Yesterday while practicing, Bronny James suffered a cardiac arrest. Medical staff was able to treat Bronny and take him to the hospital. He is now in stable condition and no longer in the ICU. We ask for respect and privacy for the James family, and we will update the media when there is more information. LeBron and Savannah wish to publicly send their deepest thanks and appreciation to the USC medical and athletic staff for their incredible work and dedication to the safety of their athletes." Now, for those of you that don't know what sudden cardiac arrest is, it's basically when there's a sudden loss of all heart activity due to an irregular heart rhythm. This means that all breathing stops. Unfortunately, sudden cardiac arrest is one of those things that has the potential to turn fatal within minutes, meaning that your best odds for survival involve getting the proper treatment immediately. Now, though sudden cardiac arrest is pretty rare, it does happen, and apparently often enough to where a study from 2011 showed that it was the leading cause of death in about 45 cases for NCAA athletes between 04 and 08. To dive into this whole thing a little deeper, Bronny James isn't the only basketball player from USC to suffer from sudden cardiac arrest in the past few years. Last year, Vince Iwuchukwu would also go into cardiac arrest during a practice, with one of his only signs leading up to this event being that he was very tired, getting very little sleep the night before with something feeling off. Once Vince went into cardiac arrest, the USC athletic staff would be prompt in using their AED to shock him back to life. For those who don't know, AEDs are a giant difference maker. These things can boost survival rates for sudden cardiac arrest by over 80%, and yet for whatever reason, they aren't as accessible as they should be. This is something that I was actually passionate and wrote about back in college, but we won't get into that right now. According to CNN, when Vince would return to the court months later, the USC training staff would have to watch and monitor his every move. It was a long process for him to return to play 6 or so months later, but one that the 7-footer felt was critical to him continuing to be able to play the game that he loves. Guys, just like all medical issues, sudden cardiac arrest sucks. Now, while sudden cardiac arrest can be very unfortunate, fortunately July 27th, Shams would follow up that shocking news that nobody wanted to hear with some good news, tweeting that USC's Bronny James would be discharged from the hospital and would be at home resting after being treated for sudden cardiac arrest at a medical center where he at the time arrived fully conscious, neurologically intact, and stable. Now, the statement attached to this tweet would be a little different from the first one, with it basically announcing that everything went incredibly well, which would be exactly what all of us wanted to hear. This same day, Brown would speak on the situation via Twitter saying this: "I want to thank the countless people sending my family love and prayers. We feel you, and I'm so grateful. Everyone's doing great. We have our family together, safe and healthy, and we feel your love. We'll have more to say when we're ready, but I wanted to tell everyone how much your support has meant to all of us. Hashtag James Gang. I can't overstate how happy I am that Bronny was able to reach a stable condition and is doing much better than he was just a week ago. It's always great to know that somebody is recovering. And of course, videos like this one that LeBron James shared himself are also great to see too.
Man of many talents.
Go ahead. I can do that.
Now I know that this video where he's playing a piano a few days after what went down may seem small, but this is the type of stuff that if they're sharing, that we're more than happy to see. What we didn't want to see is media companies or outlets leaking incredibly sensitive audio. We've seen time and time again that TMZ has no regard for their reputation or families that are affected by tough times or even tragedy. So I really shouldn't be surprised, but I mean, come on. Releasing the audio from the 911 call made moments after Bronny James collapsed just days after the incident. I think that we have to be a bit better than that. In fact, it blows my mind that something like this is even able to get out. And how I feel about things like this getting out go far beyond just the Bronny James situation. I'm always shocked when things like this are released to the public. And again, not just for athletes. There are some things and moments that just have to remain personal. And things like what happened to Bronny are for sure one of them. Now, while Bronny is doing better, and I am incredibly grateful for that, I would be lying if I said that I wasn't still immensely worried for him, as we really do have no idea what this could reveal or change about his entire life going forward. There are things that go beyond basketball, and this is one of them. Any issue involving the heart or brain is absolutely no joke. Now, with all of that in mind, I definitely wish Bronny nothing but the best moving forward, and hope that whatever happened to him just ends up being a one-time thing, which I am cautiously optimistic that it will be. Everything that we've seen so far has been nothing but positive. He seems to be in really good spirits, and also we could rest assured that this man is going to be in good hands. Guys, let me know what you think of everything down in the comments below. Clicking the video on the screen right now is a great way to support my channel. I'm GetLikeCoop, bringing you guys the scoop until our next upload.